Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to a returning episode of the Fall to Rise podcast. I'm your host, James Brown, and today we're going to have a very, very special episode. We're doing part 4 of our Bridging the Gap African versus African American podcast. I'm fortunate to have my brothers and sisters returning from Kenya, Zanele and Nguru Maina. Brothers and sisters, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you, brother. How's everyone?
Good. Good to see you. Now, this is also good because we also have someone from the country known as Biafra. We're going to get into that in a couple of minutes. But we first off like to send our thoughts and prayers to everyone that's in Haiti. I don't know if anyone heard this morning, but Haiti just had a major earthquake and hundreds of thousands are feared dead. So this is the second earthquake like that in the past few years. Haiti's going through a lot right now. Their president was just assassinated, and they're going through this earthquake. So definitely our thoughts and prayers are with them. All right, so Zanele, sis, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, brother?
Good, good, good. It's good to have you back on.
It's good to have you back also. And it's good to see everybody. How are you, my brother Jim?
Hopefully Jim has
I
audio.
am great. Can you hear me?
Okay.
We can hear you. Yep.
How's everybody
How are
doing?
you?
My sister, I am great. How are you doing?
I'm so good, thank you.
I miss you both.
Yes.
We'll connect.
Okay, we
Yes.
will.
Jim, how are you all doing? Because I know that you're in the Dominican Republic and you're right next to Haiti. So how's everyone doing out there?
Everybody's doing okay. I mean, we have some aftershocks here. We were
Okay.
able to feel it mildly here, but prayers are definitely with Haiti. As you know, my girlfriend is Haitian, so I was woke up early this morning, with family and all calling. So
Sure.
it's very bad there. I mean, they can't catch a break, with the
Yes.
president being murdered, and now with this earthquake, it's rough on the Haitian. It's very rough. So all we can do right now is truly pray for
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you.
them.
Uh thank you. So Zanele, since the last time that we spoke, I know that there's been a lot of change just around the world. So how's Africa been? Since we had our last conversation, we had the resurgence of COVID. There's been several wars that's happened in Africa since the last time that we spoke. What's been going on out there in Africa?
I think it's still the same situation as we had spoken with you the last time. So I
Okay.
think what you are really asking about is Eswatini specifically, because that's where
Yes.
there was a big problem when we last spoke. So
Yes.
if you don't know, my name is Zanele. I'm from Eswatini, but I'm currently living in Kenya. So in my country, which is Eswatini, it's in the southern part of Africa, just close to South Africa or next to South Africa. There's I don't know if I can call it some kind of revolution, really. So we are led by a king, and the monarch is it's just trembling at the moment. That's all I can say. So our
Mhm.
people really are trying to fight for their rights and trying to, get their voices heard in any way possible. So it's been bad. People have been hurt. People have been killed in the process, and people are still hurting. Different families have lost their family members. So the situation is
Mhm.
still bad. We are praying and hoping that things will get better. So in South Africa,
Mhm.
a similar thing really was happening in Durban in the last month, where
Mhm.
the former president of South Africa was arrested. And then the people really in that province where he comes from were up in arms
Mhm.
and looting and, stealing
Mhm.
from shops and from people's businesses. So it's been the similar
Mhm.
situation everywhere, violence, police violence, and things like that. So we're praying for southern part of Africa for things to get better and for, for normality really, or for a
Sure.
change if possible. And then maybe on Zambia. Zambia has been having their elections, but I think the
Mhm.
situation in Zambia is not so bad. I think their elections went well. I don't want to speak much
Mhm.
because I've not been following the elections very well. I don't know even who is leading in the votes and things like that. But from what I'm seeing in the media, there's no violence. It looks like everything is going on well, but I don't know if there's somebody with information who would love to hear more about it. I don't know if my husband is back online. He's been having problems with his audio. He might have some information to add on some of the other countries in Africa.
Yes. Nguru, I don't know. Nguru, is your audio working? Maybe not yet. We'll give him a couple of minutes. But Zanele, well, first off, let me inform everyone that Eswatini used to be known as Swaziland, which is a very small country next to South Africa. So for anyone here that likes marijuana, there's a marijuana called Swazi Gold. A lot of people, that's one of the things that they know it for. But in Swaziland, so what you're saying is that one of the major issues was that people had a problem with the monarchy in Swaziland or Eswatini.
Mhm.
So
I don't want to
was
say
it
it's
that
the monarchy per
the
se. I don't want to say it's the monarchy because some people feel like we should continue to have the monarchy to rule and continue. But the only thing that they
Sure.
have a problem with is the system, is the way it's governing the people. You see, they are not helping the people. The people are not benefiting from whatever. The government is just corrupt and things like that. So the biggest problem is that people are not benefiting. People are jobless and things like that. So if the monarchy could be able to assist its people, nobody has a problem with it. But if it cannot, and if the whole system needs to be changed, that is what some people are feeling, maybe we can have a revolution now. So that's where the situation is. You find that some people are saying the monarchy is good, we want it to be that way. We don't mind having a king ruling us. Some are saying, let's just get over and done with this whole system of rule. If you don't know, Eswatini is the last absolute monarch in Africa, I think in the world also.
Really?
So that's where the whole chaos comes from also.
So you have a king. Is the king well loved out there or no? Before all this, was he well loved, or were people out there just struggling before that? Were people struggling to find work to survive? Was that the case in Eswatini before, or is this unrest kind of new?
I think it's nothing new, really. Growing up, the people would have always been complaining, but we're so used to the whole system of governance. So now that people are more informed and they know that we deserve better, it's now that they are saying we need a change. Things have been going on this way. Some have been benefiting whilst others, just the way as some. I know my brother Eleanya Uche. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name well. I know you might be able to attest to this, but African governments, most of them are corrupt. The people do not benefit. The people are not, it's just a whole mess. So it's been the same thing over and over again. But now our problem is that we have a king who has the final say in anything. So even if the government decides to take decisions that are against whatever is happening, or decisions that are for the people, the king might say no if it doesn't benefit him and his family. So he has the last say. And that is where now the problem comes with the monarch and the system of governance and, people now wanting a revolution, people saying it's time for us to take leadership back to our hands. I don't know if I'm answering you correctly.
No, you are. So with this revolution that's happening, how are people getting food, medical supplies, gas, getting around, moving, or how are they living their daily lives with this revolution happening?
Right now, things are getting back to normal, if I may say, but there was a time when there was a problem with gas, there was a problem with even food supplies in the supermarkets. You find that you queue for like 3 hours, and then by the time you get your chance to enter the supermarket, there's nothing left. So, but now the situation is a bit better. The protests are not as much as they were before, and the burning down of businesses is a little bit better than the last time we spoke. So at least now the situation is, I don't want to say under control, because it's still happening. So it's a bit better than the last time.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to come right back to you because I kind of want to swing it over to Elanya Uche. I hope that I said your name correctly, because there's another issue going on in Africa in the area that we know is Nigeria. The area that we know here is Nigeria is having a revolution between Nigeria and Biafra, which is a newer name that we're using for Nigeria. This is an issue that most people here in America don't even know about. Most people, when we think of Nigeria, it's just, okay, that's the part where we visit. That's the richest part of Africa, but we don't know anything else about it. So Ilanya, welcome and thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
And yes, you guys are doing great with pronouncing my name.
Okay.
But good afternoon to our audience. My name is Elanya Uche, and I hail from Biafra.
Okay.
Biafra is in the eastern part of the country now known as Nigeria. But we from the eastern part of that entity no longer refer or no longer identify ourselves as Nigerians. We are reverting back to our original name, which is Biafra. Biafra, our agitation to separate from Nigeria did not start today. Between 1967 and 1970, there was a war actually between Biafra and the rest of Nigeria. So you can look it up. But this war was genocidal because Biafra was forced to defend itself. My people were being slaughtered en masse, basically, by Nigeria. The chronicles of this war goes way back, but the bottom line is that my people are hated by Nigerians, and that hate is what inspires all kinds of atrocities going on towards my people, Biafra. And so we are saying enough is enough. We lost at least 5 million people in that war between 1967 and 1970.
Wow.
We were starved to death. Nigeria, in collusion with their colonial masters, Britain, used a strategy of blockading all kinds of food, medical supplies, and amenities from Biafra. And mostly children, women died from starvation, not from actually in gunfight when you have 5 million, mostly from starvation. And of course, bombings. They were bombing civilian targets. They were bombing churches. They were bombing schools. They were bombing marketplaces, public civilian places they were bombing indiscriminately. And that's why that number ran that high.
Wow.
After that war, there was an attempt they claimed they will reintegrate Biafra, right? With this slogan, no victor, no vanquish. But that never happened. Our people still open-mindedly gave this Nigerian project a chance. And today, matters are worse than ever. And that is what has spurred our agitation for self-independence, because that entity, Nigeria, is a failed state. Not only that, but my people are being killed on a daily basis. They conduct the military, the police, extrajudicial killings, murdering, going on a daily basis. They will come and abduct whoever they suspect is a Biafran agitator and disappear them, is the term they use, never to be seen or found again. So we have decided that we must defend ourselves. We must preserve who we are. And we are working to get our own independent country to defend ourselves and to make sure that our people are not indiscriminately slaughtered by that entity called Nigeria in little synopsis.
So you're saying that Biafra is in the eastern part of the country, correct?
Correct. Biafra is in the eastern part of present-day Nigeria. Yes.
So
and I must also say that we're not the only ones also agitating Recently also the western part, who are the Yorubas, you might have heard of them, are
Yes.
also agitating to form their own nation, the Oduduwa nation, they
Okay.
call themselves. So the Duduwas are working to establish their independence. Biafra is working to establish its independence. And the Middle Belt also, the Middle Belt region are also putting themselves together to, break away from Nigeria. And the main group that is benefiting from this contraption called Nigeria are actually not indigenes of Nigeria. They are immigrants. They are immigrants from the Futajalon Mountains in the Senegambia area called the Fulanis. The Fulanis. They are the ones who the British basically handed power over to. And these people have no idea of the sanctity of life. They do not, they are not natural democrats. They're more of a king feudal system they come from, where they, basically worship their king. So they resent us who are Democrats, who will, stand up and boldly question, well, if you say we want to do ABC, well, why? Explain to us why ABC is preferred over B, C, and D. That they resent. How dare you question authority or challenge an idea? So those are some of the underlying principles which is fueling the hate of Biafra. Also, my people are very enterprising, I must say. People are very ambitious, aspire to be educated, aspire to be better, to better themselves, aspire for the next generation to be greater than the previous generation. And some people might construe that as being arrogant. They want too much. They want to attain more than us. And some of that is resented. And I must make that, put that on the table. But that is no fault of ours. Everybody has, God has given us the free will to be the best we can be. Why not? What's the problem with that?
Yes.
So that's another issue. They don't want meritocracy, right? They want to just give positions to their friends, their cronies. But if you allow people to earn positions and places of authority on merit, then Biafrans will do very well in that country. But that is not the situation. That's why we say that we are marginalized, right? We don't. We're not given the opportunity to express ourselves, to use our talents in the betterment of that country, Nigeria. So we have decided it is better for us to restore Biafra. We use the term restore because we existed from 1967 to 1970. So it's a restoration project actually. And back then, it's on record that even during that war, our people used their creativity to produce all kinds of weapons to defend themselves. The technological advancement that was going on at that time is unheard of in Africa. And we know for sure that if we're given the opportunity to self-rule, that Biafra in very little time will be one of the greatest nations in Africa.
It's so weird because we here in America, we've never even heard of Biafra. The first time that I heard of Biafra is from a mutual friend of ours. And he would always say, Biafra, Biafra. I never heard of the term Biafra. And I'm a history buff. I love history. So when he told me that there's an issue in that part of the world between Nigeria and Biafra, I had no idea what he was talking about. Usually whenever you hear about conflict in Nigeria, it's usually Boko Haram. That's usually all that you hear about that part of the world. Is that an issue for the people in Biafra as well?
Yes, of course. Now the Boko Haram movement is a movement that is against Western education. My people love education of any sort. So this tendency not of Boko Haram, not just Boko Haram, but ISWAP, which is basically ISIS of West Africa, is a movement that is trending southwards towards Biafra. And the purpose is to basically enforce their brand of jihadist Islam. Accept our brand of Islam or we'll kill you, we'll behead you. So that movement is a threat to us Biafrans, because like I said, we are lovers of freedom. We want everyone to have the choice of choosing whatever religion they so wish to choose, freedom to pursue any educational pursuits they want, freedom to establish any business they want, and so on and so forth. It's just freedom to better yourself and to live a free life, just like we're all doing, enjoying here in the United States.
Yes.
And that's what we aspire for. And that is against what Boko Haram and the terrorists from the north, what exactly they don't want. They want to land grab, and they want to force their way of life upon us, and we are resisting that. One of the people they idolize, Othman Dan Fodio, way back. You said you're a history buff, so I'm giving you some homework to go look up. Othman Dan Fodio started this move of the Fulanis to land grab, which they have done successfully, because like I mentioned, they migrated from far west. And as they came to Nigeria, they realized, here is a land filled with bountiful natural resources. I must mention that Biafra, all the oil in Nigeria is in Biafra land, comes from Biafra. Biafra basically is the part of the country that is sustaining the entire Nigeria. The whole economy, I must say about 90% of the economy of Nigeria is based on the oil resources coming from Biafra land. So that's a major point. They want to continue to hold control of that. Britain is benefiting from that alliance, because that oil is being siphoned into Britain, using this Fulani stooges to rule over us with a heavy hand. And that's why we are saying no to that. In 1914, Britain forced together what they called the Northern Protectorate and the South, basically merged the northern part of Nigeria and the southern part of Nigeria in 1914, when they forced those two entities together, obviously without consulting the people, without any kind of the masses lending their say in that movement. And what they've done was to force people who have different ideologies, different value systems, different cultures, force them together into one entity. Now, naturally, you might say, okay, there might be different. What's the problem with that? Well, the problem is that our ways of life are in direct conflict with each other. You understand? We aspire to be free. We aspire to be democratic. They are feudal in nature. My people are mostly Christian and Jews, and they are mostly, jihadi Islam. And there's a conflict there in way of life, in religion, in government system. So right now in present day in Nigeria, think about this, how ludicrous this is. In the 12 northern states, Islamic rule is in effect. They have forced that into the constitution where the 12 northern states can be ruled by Sharia, the Islamic law.
Wow. Okay.
And that is not in play in the South, of course, and it will never be. Because our people so far have not chosen that. If some by virtue, our people decide we want to sign up with that, which I don't see happening in my lifetime or next, then so be it. But you can see the dichotomy going on. So us from the South, when we go to the North, there's a conflict. Okay, so what rule do we follow here? I can't go out and buy a beer and drink beer in public because it's against the Sharia law. However, that is obviously in play in the South, and so many other laws that are in conflict with each other in the same entity. So oil and water cannot mix, no matter how much you shake it. Oil will always separate from the water. So that is part of the issue that is going on in that entity, Nigeria. And it has come to the point that, in my humble opinion, it is beyond repair. It is that bad. It is beyond repair. And my people have decided, no matter what, we must attain Biafra. No matter how long it takes, we will continue to work for the restoration of the independent nation of Biafra. And that is our flag. That is our flag behind me. So if you see that anywhere, you identify that those are Biafrans. 3 horizontal lines, the red, black, the green, with a rising sun, in the middle. That's us, Biafra.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. Hold that thought for 1 second. Zanele and Guru, I don't know if your audio is working. I know that we here in America don't know anything about this. Have you all heard about this in Kenya?
Maybe I'll start. In fact, it's actually my first time to hear there's a place called Biafra. Is it a country, my brother?
Yes, we were officially a country between 1967 and 1970. The Biafran War, you might have heard of.
It's news to me.
I know.
Wow.
There has been a concerted effort by Britain and Nigeria to silence even that word Biafra. For a long time, they would slaughter anybody that would even mention the name Biafra. So that is why a lot of the world did not know or have not heard about Biafra. But we're changing all of that. There are protests going on all over the world. And I must say, since you're from Kenya, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because I represent the indigenous people of Biafra. You will continue to hear about us. IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who denounces Nigerian citizenship and is British because he resided in Britain for a long time, was actually abducted from Kenya about probably about a month ago or so, 3 weeks to a month ago, was abducted in Kenya and kidnapped, which is the official term for it is extraordinary rendition, and smuggled into Nigeria to face all kinds of trumped up charges of treasonable felony and all kinds of ridiculous charges. But if you research, you will see that also trending. This happened not too long ago. So our people have come out in mass to protest for his unconditional release, because it is illegal for a citizen of a third party country to be kidnapped in another country and smuggled to the third country. But Britain has been quiet about it because obviously the agitation of IPOB will hurt their pockets, or might hurt their pockets, I would say. I say might because honestly, we are their natural allies. Biafra is a natural ally of all the Western nations because we are democratic in nature. And I'll bring this up because I haven't heard this, or maybe people have forgotten. When 9/11 happened, go back and research this. When 9/11 happened, the Fulanis in the north, in Sokoto, in a city called Sokoto, and most of the North Kano came out in the streets and they were rejoicing. They were part of the group. They were rejoicing when 9/11 happened, when the Twin Towers fell in New York City.
Mm.
That is evident right there that deep down in their core, they hate everything democratic. They say, oh, Nigeria, but Nigeria is a democracy. It's a democracy only on paper. During their so-called elections, all kinds of atrocities are going on. All kinds of disenfranchisement, all kinds of use of guns to go forcibly snatch ballot boxes and stuff them, all kinds of illegal vote manipulations going on in their so-called democracy. That is not a democracy like we know here in the United States. They do all kinds of corrupt practices going on. They claim their population is the most. Well, no credible census has occurred in that nation. And we dispute the fact, we dispute their allegation that they hold a majority. If a true census is held in that place, you will find out that the Fulanis are not in the majority. Their land mass is very scanty. You would drive for miles and miles and miles and not see one human being. So how is it they claim they have the most population? All kinds of rigging. All children of 7 years old, 6 year old, you will see them with ballot cards in their hands and voting. They open up the borders in the north and allow their Fulani brethren, who are also in all the neighboring countries in the north, like Niger, like Sudan, to troop into Nigeria and vote in mass on their behalf. And that's how they maintain their so-called majority. And because of that system, which is they have established to favor them, and which is not in our favor, a system which they have continuously and successfully rigged, we are saying enough is enough. We're no longer going to be part of that. And a Biafran has never ruled that entity called Nigeria. They have never allowed, especially us, the Igbos. You might have heard of, there are three major tribes in
Igbo, Yoruba, and
thank you. The Hausa,
yes,
the Igbo, and the Yoruba. So you might ask yourself, well, where did the Fulani come from? They're not, like I mentioned earlier, they're not even indigenes of Nigeria. They migrated from the Senegambia area, the Futajola Mountains, but because of their propensity to lean towards violence and the use of terror, they have subdued the Hausas, almost completely wiped out their culture, and forced their own way of life on the Hausas. So that's why you wonder, well, how did that happen? Listen, you accept our way of life or we'll kill you. That is how they have achieved the little success they have achieved so far. Their so-called leader, the Buhari, was a military dictator. So-called reformed military dictator, now, put aside his army uniforms and is now wearing civilian clothes and is claiming to give us democracy. Rubbish. His natural tendency is to be a dictator, to be autocratic. Accept my way or we'll disappear you. People come out to protest with our flags, and guess what happens? We get shot and killed. Several of those incidences have happened. Even on video, there was a killing in Aba High School. Look it up, Mr. Brown. I'm giving you a lot of homework tonight.
yes.
The video is available where the Nigerian armed forces with guns shooting Biafrans who actually started running. And many of them were shot in the back, shot and killed on video. If you can't find it, I'll send it to you, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
Several of those instances have happened where our people are being shot and killed just coming out to agitate and say, we want to exercise our right to self-rule.
See, what's so crazy about this is, again, we haven't heard about any of this here in America. It's not on the news. It's not something that's talked about. One of the things that I would love to do, I know it's a long shot, but I would love to get the different parts of your country, whether it be Biafra, Nigeria. I would love to just get everybody on a show, because I really want to hear everyone's side on this, because sometimes people may be following a certain ideology just because that's what they grew up with. That's all that they know. And what at times can happen is truth can get lost in translation. So for instance, let's just say that you've known Biafra, that's all that you've known. and the Igbo, all that they've known is their way of life. I would love, and again, I know it's probably a long shot, but to get everyone to sit down and just discuss what happens, because I'm willing to bet that, as we said, most of us here in America don't know this is going on. As Anele said, they're in Kenya, they didn't know this was going on. I kind of wonder if people in that country, in the different parts, I wonder if they know. They might or might not know.
Where in Nigeria?
Yeah. Like
without a doubt, without a doubt. Actually, on Monday, we did a form of civil protest called Stay at Home.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was we effectively shut down all movement, all businesses, all school, all banks. Everything was closed on Monday to protest the extraordinary rendition of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, on the Monday. So on Monday, the eastern part of Nigeria was shut down. So anybody who says they do not know about that going on in Nigeria right now was probably hiding under some rock. So it's not possible. Yeah, I must say, in previous years, the effort to silence us was successful, but not now. Just type on Twitter. Go ahead and type BIA. By the time you finish typing BIA, Biafra will show up. Nnamdi Kanu, KANU. By the time you finish typing KAN, Nnamdi Kanu will pop up. So yes, we're working hard, but they have all the money siphoned from Biafra land, all the oil resources. They're using our money to fight against us. We're not as funded or well funded, not even close to them, and that's why it is even harder for us to get our message out. Also, there are powerful entities who are benefiting from that failed nation called Nigeria, starting with Britain and even the USA. So the USA might even be hesitant to support Biafra because there might be a rise in oil prices. If this conflict between Biafra and Nigeria kicks off, but like I said, we are the natural allies of the West. We are the natural allies. Our way of life, what we aspire for, is in cohesion with what the West wants, which is a free, open, democratic republic, which is what Biafra is aspiring to be.
Hold that thought for 1 second. And Guru, I see that you had your hand up. I don't know if we got your audio.
Yes, brother. Yes.
Yes.
I was not able to answer your question. I'm on the street. Sorry, I was not able to answer your question before. Yeah, but you asked whether Kenyans know about Biafra and whether we've heard about it. Yes, we have. I know Biafra. I know the history of Biafra. I know the fight that goes on. I know Biafrans are guys who are hardworking, guys who are very much entrepreneurial, like my brother Uche said. And I know the historical war between Biafra and Nigeria. And if you look it up, you find at a time when they already had someone who stood like a president. He was like an army leader who was able to bring Biafra together, and
Ojukwu,
it almost happened. Yeah. Yeah, I cannot remember his name.
Yes,
but I'm a history.
Ojukwu is his name.
I love his.
Ojukwu.
Yeah. And if I can tell you what really used to happen is, like I'm saying, Biafrans are guys who are very hardworking, and they are these guys who are able to, who have gone to school and studied. They have gone for higher education. Then you happen to find the northern people who do not do this, but they still want maybe to be the ones who are leading the government and all that. So there was that maybe disadvantage for the South, and that's why they've always wanted to break up until now.
Absolutely. Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria is not a country that is based on merit. And that is one thing that will continue to cause agitation of us Biafrans, because we're looking at this situation, and here are these rulers who are completely inept, downright illiterate, who are running the so-called giant of Africa, a country of 220 million, being run by a man who cannot prove that he graduated from high school. A man who cannot prove that he graduated from high school is leading a country of 220 million. A man that when he speaks, you can't even understand what he's saying. Za, 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 is all you hear. Like, is this the best that that land can produce? No. So how is it that these people are entrenched in power? How? On any normal day, on an even playing field, these people will not smell the corridors of power because they are inept. They're not prepared for it. They're not the best that the land has produced, but they're somehow managed by force, I must say, and by the power of the gun to entrench themselves in power. That's why we're saying we will fight against that. We will stand up against that. They try to use, they always use terror and fear and intimidation are the tactics that they use. And that's how they succeeded, the little success they have, but we're going to turn that upside down by employing our mass, the will of the masses. The will of the masses can never be shut down forever. It will always rise to the top. And that's what we're going to prove in this case of Biafra.
Wow. It's when I did this episode, we always learn something new whenever I do an episode about Africa. A lot of this information I'm finding out for the first time. You know, I think a lot of people here are finding this out for the first time. A lot of people here don't know about this. They had no idea about this. It's, you know, I encourage everyone, please do your research. Please look into this, especially with us, you know, getting this new information. You know, when I did this show before, Zanele and Nguru, they told me about the Mau Mau. Most people here in America didn't really know about them. We didn't understand the Mau Mau. We didn't understand the plight. And unfortunately, we as Black Americans have been so separated from our homeland that we, in a sense, have no connection to it. We don't know what's going on. You know, if you take a look at the news, we'll know about what's happening in England. We'll know about what's happening in Asia. You know, right now they're talking about the issues in Afghanistan. That's what's ruling the news right now here. We know nothing about what's happening in Africa. And it helps to fuel that divide between our two continents. You know, we for some reason, I think that we still have this view here in America, and I'm probably still in Africa, as if we're long lost brothers that have nothing to do with each other. It's kind of like, okay, well, they're over there, we're over here, and that's it. They don't like us, we don't like them, we're not the same. And
that's not it, Mr. Brown. Our people of Biafra love the United States and love the way of life here in the United States and aspire to enjoy half the freedoms that citizens of this country enjoy. Like I said, the issue is that the powers that be, the entrenched powers, are benefiting from this status quo of keeping the events in Biafra land silent. Let's hush this, hush. Keep it low, because they are benefiting. Their pockets are being lined up every day in this situation. That's why. Why is it not on CNN? Why is it not on Fox News? Why is it not all over? Because it will hurt their pockets. But you can't keep down the people forever. You know, light will always shine. You know, and that's what we're working for the light of Biafra to shine wider, and for the world to come to recognize what is going on. And we are gaining success. Just being on this program is another evidence that yes, we are coming out, understanding what we need to do, our responsibility as Biafrans. You know, before, many of us used to sit back or say, well, you know, waiting for some kind of outside help. Well, that's not happening anymore. We are now educating our people that if you don't agitate for yourself, if you don't advocate for yourself, well, nothing is going to change, because the powers that be are enjoying the status quo. You know, they're siphoning all kinds of oil from Biafra land, and we cannot ascertain if they're really praying paying the market value for that. And that's some of the factors, you know, why you haven't heard what's going on. The embassies, of course, you know, USA has an embassy in Nigeria. We don't believe that they're doing a good job of reporting back to the United States what's going on back there, you know. So these are the things that, you know, we have to establish our own media. We have to, you know, maybe break out new channels of getting the news out. And that's another reason why Biafra lost that war back then, because they did a good job of, you know, silencing all the atrocities that they committed. And that is their modus operandi right there. Commit atrocities and keep it hush hush. Try to block it out from all kinds of media. That's why recently, about 3 weeks ago or so, their so-called president banned Twitter. Look it up. He banned Twitter because our people are becoming experts of recording the atrocities of the Nigerian military and police forces and shooting all these images and videos worldwide to see the armed forces shooting and killing civilians and innocent citizens who are just exercising their rights to protest their conditions that are not favorable to them. Look up the Lekki massacre. Look up the Lekki massacre, L-E-K-K-I. The Lekki massacre happened, I believe, in October. How many months ago? On October 2020, where the people came out to protest against the SARS. SARS is a corrupt police unit they formed, which will go out and kidnap and abduct people, kill them, disappear them, take all their money from their banks, and keep it hush. So I'm sure you heard about that. Did you hear about that?
I did not, but I'm actually reading right now that this is something again that I didn't know. That Nigeria banned Twitter June 5th, 2021.
What was the date again?
June 5th.
June 5th. Thank you.
2021. And Donald Trump praised Nigeria for banning Twitter. I did not know.
No comment on that. I'll just say no comment on that one. On who praised them for that.
That's correct. Like I genuinely, I mean, I don't know. People can talk about this in the chat, but how many of you actually knew that this happened? That they actually that they banned Twitter? That's wow. I've never.
That's a shocking part of this. They're not hiding anything they're doing, but after they commit these atrocities, they want to keep it hush. They want to silence. It's an orchestrated, heavily funded, high-powered move to keep this silent. But we must all work together, like we said. We must band together because our brothers and sisters all across the world stand to benefit when Biafra stands up as an independent nation, because these colonial powers continue to exert their force on Biafra and on Nigeria. And we are the ones, you and I, we are the ones who will benefit from getting their yoke off our necks, from getting them off our backs and being able to run our own nation the way we deem fit. That entity, Nigeria, is basically an economic structure to continue neocolonialism, to make sure that the money is funneled straight from Biafra land to Britain and some of it to the United States. The American companies, Chevron and other American oil companies, who are part of, siphoning this money out of Biafra. But we are saying it does not mean that when Biafra comes that, these foreign companies will lose out entirely. We will actually be better managers than these people who are currently, obviously running that entity into the ground. They've completely run the country into the ground. Look at the value of their currency now. Continues to fall every day. The economy is in the pits. So,
well, actually, hang on.
We're no longer suffering in silence. That's the term that you hear about. Suffering in silence. Well, actually, if we're gonna suffer, we're gonna speak up about it. We're gonna spread the word. We're gonna come out and protest, and we're going to speak our minds. and place our demands on the table and continue to work until our demands are met.
Hang on one second. Hang on one second. Now this is interesting. Now Zanele just sent me an article because in Eswatini, their internet has been shut off. Zanele, I don't know if you can speak on that, but you're saying that the internet in Eswatini has been completely blocked and shut off. Is it still that way now?
So in fact, what's interesting me is what my brother Lanya has just said. I don't know why it's just a similar situation even in my country. I don't know if they use the same tactics or what.
Same tactics.
But yeah, it's just the same. They will silence you in any way. They will switch off your internet. They'll just frustrate you in any way. So in my country had, I think for almost 3 weeks shut down. And then they were all denying that it's them who have shut down the internet. So they're blaming it on the protesters, saying they've burnt down the cables and things like that. So unfortunately for them, our people are clever. They fix VPN, which allows you now to connect with, I don't know how it works, but I know most of you might understand how VPN works. So they were able now to come back to the internet and send out the images of the police brutality, the killings and the shootings of the citizens. So that's really some of the tactics that they are using in these African countries. It's just funny, my brother, how they are using the same ways of really silencing the people from saying what they want and taking up their rights, really. What is wrong with protesting for something that is, rightful to you? I don't understand it. But that's the same thing that is happening in most of these African countries.
So I actually just found this. This is an actual picture from Eswatini that I found. So it looks like they're attacking them there as well.
There's worse than that, my brother. There are some pictures that if you were to see, you would not sleep tonight.
Very, very grisly pictures, I must say. You must have a tough stomach to see it. Butcherings, shootings, like I said, pictures, videos are everywhere. And Mr. Brown, I will indulge you to prepare yourself so that you can understand when our people show the kind of emotion and zeal for what is going on is because of what we have experienced, what we have seen happen. And that's why you will see us speak the way we speak and have this have this tone in our voices, because we know, they say the person who's wearing the shoe is the one who knows where it hurts, so we know how much we are hurting, and we know how many people we have lost, and we are determined to do something about it. And basically we want to advocate for people from all walks of life, all over the globe, to join us. And that's the only way we're going to succeed. We need to build an alliance. And what you understand is, I must make this distinction, right? The will of the government is many times different from the will of the people. Now, the government of the British government continues to do what they're doing because the British people do not know most of this. The American government, which is many times is basically, sat on the fence because, many times they hate to go against their ally, their close ally, which are the British, have been silent because they don't know what's going on. So if the masses actually knew what was going on and had a chance to take a stand, I tell you, this is not even close. On morality, our argument is superior. On ethics, our argument is superior. Based on facts and history, our argument cannot be defeated. And that is what they resent. And that's why the only tactic that they now employ is to silence. Let's try and shut this down. Shut down any means they could use to get this message out. But they're not going to win forever. And we are making progress daily. And the progress and the success we are achieving, we want to continue that momentum and spread the word worldwide.
You okay?
Oh, wow. 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 It's so weird because
I have to go out.
I had an entirely planned out
Yeah.
before we did this one, like completely different show. The original plan for today's show was to, bridge the gap to learn about each other's cultures. But there's so much new information that we're getting that we didn't know about, that I personally didn't know about. The fact that the internet is being shut down, and Zanele and Nguru, they were actually telling me about an issue in Ethiopia. I'm not sure if, well, Zanele, are you still here? I think that we still have you.
I think Guru might be the one with the information. I think he's online.
I think that we just lost him. I think that he just logged out.
Ah.
So I guess
Brother, can you repeat the question? Sorry, can you
Oh,
repeat
sure.
the question?
Sure. And Guru, there's an issue going on in Ethiopia, I believe that you were telling me about. We had you and lost you. I guess we'll get him back in a couple of seconds. But yeah, again, we have no connection to our homelands. The purpose of the show still is to bridge that gap with us. We still want to increase tourism. And while we're working on getting Zanele and Nguru back, there's a couple of questions that I have. 1 second. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yep.
Should be-
Well, I know that we're still waiting for them, but I know we're still waiting. But here's a question for Zanele and Uche. So we have a new administration here in America, new presidential administration. What do you all think, or what do people in Africa think of the new administration now that we have a new president, new vice president, new Senate? Zanele, I'll let you go first. What do you all think of our new leadership here in this country?
I think I don't know why most Africans celebrate if wherever they like or wish could win the elections and the US wins. Unfortunately for us, whoever wins or doesn't win, they are just useless to us, if that's a correct word to use. Because looking at the situation in Biafra, for example, in Eswatini, in most other parts of Africa, we all look up to the US to save us or to help us when it comes to these situations. But you find that whoever is in power, or whoever the leader is, doesn't care about Africa. Whatever they are benefiting is what makes them interested really in Africa. So what I think is that it doesn't help us. So if I was to control the feelings or the brains or the minds of African people, I'll just tell them that the US is just a country like any other country. Nothing really that we should be excited about if it's elections, if it's anything to go by really. So if we are if African countries could stand on their own, like my brother had said, if like our African people can know and really understand that we are on our own in this fight. If you want democracy, don't look for outside forces to help you. Just stand up and say enough is enough. Don't say US come and help us, or whoever is in power at that moment, come and help us. They are not our savers. They don't care about us, and we should not care about them. We should just work towards making our lives better, really, not looking up to somebody who doesn't care about you. So that's all I can say, really. But for me, US is just, it cannot help us. Like right now in my country, people are suffering, people are dying, nobody's talking, everybody's just quiet. So why should we care about anybody else? So that's all I can say about the US and the government that is in power currently. Maybe if they were to help our African countries, then there'd be a reason to like and to look up to them. But for now, nothing from me really.
Got it. Thank you. Uche, my brother.
Yes, my brother James. My view on this is that what we would like to see, what we're building is to form a nonpartisan pressure group. We want to be a nonpartisan pressure group that will have the capabilities of appealing to whatever government is in power here in the United States, that we Biafrans are the natural allies of the United States, that the tenets that we hold true are in line with the Constitution of the United States and the basic principles on which this country, the United States, was founded. And so we want to maintain that close relationship with this country in spite of whatever government comes in, be it Democratic or be it Republican, because I believe we aspire for the same things. Now, naturally, there might be, a particular, leadership group that might be more open to at a current situation, or that might be, have more of a, lend their ears to the issues going on. That we're no longer sitting back to wait for that foreign help, but we want to do more on our own part, to force our own issues onto, the competing issues going on in the world. Because if we don't do that, then we're never going to be heard. There's part of the reason why we lost the Biafran War in that 67 to 70, because you know, was that the Vietnam War was going on at the same time. Israel was having its own problems also with its neighbors in the Middle East. So there were those conflicting issues going on, which dominated, the airways at the time, and did not, allow a chance for the Biafran War issue to, see the light of day. And we blame ourselves for that. You know what I mean? And that's why now we're building this movement, the indigenous people of Biafra. We are virtually in every country worldwide. And from our locations all over the world, we're well traveled. Well, like I said, like my sister was saying, or my brother who was on the streets was saying, we're everywhere in the world. It's not possible for you not to know an Igbo person, which is the predominant group in Biafra, even though we have other groups. We're an ally of different ethnicities who basically have the same lineage in Biafra land. We have the Jaw, we have the Bibio, we have the Anang, the Efiks, all part of Biafra. But we're all over the world. We're in every country. And so from where we are now, they can no longer encircle us, put a blockade together and shut us down. That's not going to happen, because we're in every country, putting the pressure from wherever we are and spreading the word of the message of Biafra all over the world. So our own view is, we want to, change what happened between 1967 and 70 and be able to apply pressure and bring our news to the front, no matter what political party or president is in place.
Got it. Jim, brother Jim, you see, you have a question. You have your hand up.
Hey, what's up, brother? Thanks,
What's going
James.
on, brother?
Yeah, I've been listening and I've learned a lot. I didn't know, especially with Nigeria. I have quite a few partners that's from the Igbo tribe. They mentioned a lot of this, but brother here, Eliana?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry if thank you for the information. You brought us up on a lot of things we just didn't know. And my question is, Zanelli, my sister, you hit it on the head, because those are my exact sentiments about governments and countries. Let me ask this question. I don't know how to form it. I want to stay as positive as possible, but I'm quite jaded with governments all over the earth, period, quite jaded. And in America, a lot of us are trying to escape, I would say, the tyranny of America that we received as Africans on this soil, being brought here. So what I'm seeing from or hearing from on the ground there in Africa, there's not much difference there. We would love to join our brothers and sisters in union, absolutely, in Africa, but we want to get away from this tyranny of America as well. But what I'm hearing there is that you guys are going through the same thing with your government. So I'm pretty much anti-government. And you say informing, you want your own sovereignty now. I understand it, respect it. How would you try to form this? Would it be a government form? How would you do it? Because we see what happens with government. Absolute power corrupts, no matter who has it. So, I mean, how would you form it? And for me, all revolutions, I believe at this point, you want to make, you have allies, but we have to be careful with the allies, because I think some of the allies you discuss are the allies as the puppet masters that's causing most of your rife in Nigeria. These aren't just Nigerian people. I don't know, because I know it's a lot of cultural and tribal things going on that no one else has anything to do with. But a lot of the allies you spoke of, I believe they are the puppet masters that's causing a lot of this. And I know I'm asking a lot, but just pick up whatever you can, and if you can just follow up on it. And if you're oil rich, the land is oil rich, I don't believe any of these allies will ever allow you to get sovereignty over oil land. It's all about money. So if you can just speak on, or if you caught any of it and answer any of the questions I put out there.
If I may go on, I'll try to be brief so that other people will get a chance to speak also. But our will is to bring forth the will of the masses. That's what democracy is: one person, one vote. What do the people want? The power of the people is what we want to bring to the forefront. The current situation is where a small group who call themselves the elite, or who call themselves born to rule, who have somehow amassed some kind of power, most of it through the military, through the power of the gun. And they are the ones who are in control. They're the ones who dictating what happens, no matter what the wish of the other 200 million people are. They don't care. You know, what are you going to do to us? That's their body language. So we want to enact the power of the masses. What do the people want? What do the majority of the people want? So that's how we want to bring Biafra to come. We want a referendum for the people to decide, just like they did in Britain. You know, they did Brexit, right? They had a referendum for the people to decide. Do we want to continue to be part of the European Union, or do we want to exit? What did the people vote? The people voted that they wanted to exit from the European Union, Brexit, right? And they succeeded in doing that. They've exited from the EU. Same thing in Biafra. We want Brexit, right? Do we want our own Biafra exit, a referendum? Let's have a vote. The people decide. Do you want to be part of Nigeria? Do you want to continue to be part of Nigeria? Or do you want to be an independent sovereign Biafra? That's
Do you think it would go that smoothly?
Of course,
because they're oil.
We will need it to be controlled and run by a third party, which both entities verify, like the United Nations, to say.
Right.
And the other point you were raising is that that we're going through the same things, like some people here in the United States are looking for an escape.
Right.
And you realize that some of the same things are going on in Africa in general, and in Nigeria in particular. But I want to say this to you. This country, if you look back 100 years, even though we continue to fight to have better civil rights, to close the income gap and so on and so forth, we have come a long way. You know what I mean? Many years ago, women were not even allowed to vote. You know, there was segregation. You know, black and white, different bathrooms. So we have come a long way. This country has made a lot of progress. And we are in that same situation where we believe we can make a lot of progress. Of course, nothing will be perfect, but it will be much better than it is today. So we're going through our own struggle, but I believe we can ramp up the progress that the United States has made in achieving a higher level of human rights and civil rights, and even economic growth within the African American community and minority communities here in the United States. So it's the same thing we want. And so I want to enjoin you to look beyond the current struggle. You know, out of this current struggle and strife comes a better day. And look at apartheid South Africa. You know, when Mandela was locked up, everything looked gloom and dim, like what's going to come out of this, you know? But hey, with persistence, with consistency, because we have a superior argument. We have the ethically correct argument. Anybody who is unbiased listens to both sides. There is no way you can deny the Biafrans their right to vote and decide how they want to be governed. And it is the same thing we aspire for, and we believe that with consistency that we can achieve that and make that place a place that our brothers and sisters all over the world here in the United States will be glad to come home and visit. Some of it is already happening. That's why we're encouraged. If you look at Rwanda, Rwanda went through a strife, right? With the killings in the tribal conflicts, Hutus and Tutsis. But today, Rwanda is a model African nation. Look up Rwanda. Also, many times we point to Ghana. Look at Ghana, which is not far from us, Nigeria. We got our independence at about the same time. They have made some moves and jumped up leaps and bounds over Nigeria. Not this Christmas, before the pandemic, a lot of our brothers and sisters here from the United States traveled to Accra, Ghana, and had a ball to celebrate 400 years of the end of slavery. And if you go back and look at the videos, a lot of celebrities, traveled to Ghana to go on and enjoy what Ghana had going on, set up a system, the tourism, put together infrastructure. It is not difficult. It is not difficult, especially with the resources that we have. All we need is to get this yoke off our neck. Once we break this yoke off our neck, I'm telling you, in very short time, our countries will be desirable places for our brothers and sisters to come back home to. And a lot of people are already doing it now. If you go on YouTube, there are a lot of African Americans who have moved from here and went back home. I did it myself. I did it 2010. Packed up everything, my kids and family, moved back to Biafra land. But the conditions on ground were suffocating, frustrating. So after 4 years, and that's part of my agitation. After 4 years, I came back here, said let's regroup and let's work for a better Biafra. And what I witnessed in those 4 years is part of what is inspiring my zeal to make sure that Biafra is established. Thank you.
Oh, great, brother. I commend you on that. Can I just, James, I have a quick second? Because I just want to, I guess this is some of my pain, because this was during Corona, I happened to stop in the Dominican Republic. This was a pit stop to continue to Kenya. Okay, so a lot has happened since then while I'm still here in the Dominican Republic. And I guess one of the main things, I have the question here, do you think you can achieve that independent of the allies you spoke of? And the reason why I asked that, I will speak me specifically, my concerns with Africa, okay? I speak for myself, I'm gonna speak for every African-American I can. I have yoke around my neck from America and its government. Yeah, they made good strides and all, but we have some yoke around our neck, if not chains, still around our neck and minds. So when I see the same thing going on in Africa, I pause. I would love to reunite with my brothers in the struggle and all my sisters in the struggle. But when I see the same government around the earth that you say are your allies there, that concerns me, because your allies have the chains around our neck and mine, if we allow it, okay? So my question is this something you can achieve independently of the allies, let's say Britain and America? Because we know when their hands are anything, they control. They are the puppet master that cause most of the rife on earth, especially in Africa. So I just ask you, is there any way you feel you can achieve this without the allies? Or, the UN is one thing, but they're questionable as well. But America and Britain has done so much damage to Africa that to ally with them in anything scares me as an African-American, saying I want to come there, and join with my people. But the same oppressors I have in America are the very oppressors that you speak of as allies. I hope I formed that correctly. I just want to share what my concerns are in particular.
Does anybody else want to go? Anybody else want to answer that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Is Zanelli still on?
So I'll just chip this in, right? We're looking at our adversaries on the other side. they have built an alliance to keep the status quo in place, right? So to topple that alliance, it would be naive of us to say we can do it alone. The power they have because they banded together. What is the EU? The EU is all of most of Europe banding together to say, okay, you know, we're going to come together, agree on something, and apply that pressure. What is the NATO? The NATO is a group of countries who just said, okay, we're like-minded, we're going to band together and apply pressure on the rest of them. Well, we need to do the same. We need to find natural allies. There must be countries out there that are aligned with what we want to achieve. And so we put our resources together. That's the only way we're going to get this giant off our back. We can't do it alone, even though we must start it. We have started it, right? This is our own fight. But we must find people, like-minded people, to fight against them because they're doing the same. You know, this
think
president has come out in public and said, listen, he's come out in public and named some countries that, you know, he said, yeah, Pakistan, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Iran, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you know, he's already, you know, rolling out names of countries which are, you know, backing them or might be, you know, funding them or at least encouraging them. So why can't we do the same? Especially if we have the same mindset. I mean, we're not going to depend on them
to align with.
We'll at least try to build that coalition. And that's part of the reason why we lost the first time. We did not have a strong enough coalition to fight theirs. They had the Russians, they had the British, and they at least were able to silence the others, let the others sit on the fence. So, okay, so even if we succeed in silencing all their other allies, if we succeed in knocking off whoever's supporting them and just let it be between Biafra and Nigeria, everyone else stay out of it, that is good. That we would have achieved a lot, right? But it would be naive to say that, you know, this underfunded group will be able to get Goliath off our back without the help of some, you know, some allies or divine intervention with a sling and a huge rock. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this, brother. I understand and appreciate what you're saying, and I'll leave it at this, okay? My biggest thing is just when I hear France, Britain, America, I know what they've done to Africa. So to align with them in anything, you're sleeping with the puppet master who has destroyed Africa, and still they're destroying. Let me ask, have you ever tried to align with the African Union?
Well, sorry to say, right now, we believe that Nigeria has funded African Union a lot.
Okay, I understand.
Using Biafran funds, using, you know, proceeds from the oil from Biafra to fund African Union. And if you look at what Kenya did a few weeks ago to enable the abduction of our leader from Kenya and bringing him back to Nigeria, that kind of like is evidence that maybe, you know, they are obliging the pockets, the money, you know, the people with the money. But like I said, our tactic is to arise, awaken the conscious of the people. So we do not believe that right now, as it stands. I mean, we're making diplomatic moves to, you know, to put pressure on these groups, to educate them, to inform them, and to have them, you know, see our plight and make an unbiased decision as to Biafra.
I understand, brother.
Yes, we continue to apply those pressures on every front. The UN, the AU, United Nations, all human rights organizations, and the pressure is on as we speak, sir.
Okay, thank you, brother. My prayers are definitely with you in the country, for sure.
Thank you. All hail Biafra. I love that. I love that. That's our slogan. Yes, all hail Biafra.
Thank you. All right, so before we run out of time, I had a couple more questions. I want to open it up. Well, Zanele and Guru, I'm pretty sure you're still here. Just a couple of quick questions. We're going to open it up for the audience because I'm pretty sure they're going to have questions as well. Zanele, we still have you? And Guru, do we still have you? Okay, so no, got it. Thank you. Now, someone said earlier there is this big rush of Black Americans running back to Africa. So like Ludacris, the rapper Ludacris moved to Ghana. Stevie Wonder moved back to Africa. There's this big rush of Black Americans moving back. What's the view of Africans of us moving back to Africa?
Can I go?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think for that one excites most of us. I think for me, it's just, it shows that, you know, our brothers are at least getting informed about their roots and they are interested in going back, you know, and claiming their roots and the motherland being their homeland. So for me, it just excites me. I've seen, who is he? He's been to South Africa for like, I think this is the third time or fourth time. He came with his wife. I'll just check the name again and just read in the chat. But it's really showing that our brothers and sisters in the US are open, their minds are opening up. They have the knowledge now, they know that Africa is home. Even if they lied to us for so long, we are welcoming you guys back home. And it's really exciting me, really. That's all I can say for now.
Got it. Now, here's another quick question with Zanele. I know that in America, all that we're talking about is COVID numbers and vaccines. That's all. That's the big thing here in America. And in certain places, they're mandating the vaccines. So my first question is, Zanele, how are the COVID numbers doing in Kenya and in a lot of Africa?
Maybe I'll speak for Eswatini at the moment. We have we are at level 4. What is it called? I've forgotten what it's called, but it's level 4. A lot of people are dying. We are losing family members all the time. We have lost a lot of celebrities in South Africa. We have also lost, really a lot of lives are being lost from this COVID strand that is coming. It's so bad that people are just, when you hear somebody's in the hospital, they come back dead. So it's really that bad. In Kenya, I don't think it's been that much at the moment, but I've heard that the new strain has already come to Kenya. So I'm not sure how the numbers are at the moment, but it's not a lot of people dying in Kenya compared to my country and in South Africa.
So is it in Kenya and in South Africa, is it the Delta strain or is it the new Lambda strain?
Yeah, Delta, that one.
The Delta, okay. Now, what about the vaccinations? I know that here in America, they're forcing, if you have certain jobs in New York City, in order to go to a restaurant, go to certain events, or to go to a gym, as of September 13th, you have to be vaccinated. So are they doing that or discussing that in Africa? Forced vaccinations?
For now, in my country, teachers are all vaccinated. So if you're a teacher, because they've just reopened schools, so all the teachers had to get vaccinated. And yeah, it was not voluntary, so everybody got vaccinated if they're teachers. But for others, I don't know if for the public servants, it's the same thing. But for others, it's still voluntary. For the elders, my mom being one of the elderly people in the country, they got the vaccine, but it was not forceful, it was voluntary. So at this moment, I think what I've heard is that for teachers, they have to be vaccinated for them to go back to school. For the elderly, it was voluntary, but most of them are vaccinated. And people are dying after vaccination. There's one elder that we are very close to, who died immediately after taking the vaccination. So the vaccine, sorry. So I'm still having my doubts with the vaccine, and I'm still trying to understand whether it's really helping people or making the situation worse. I have no information on that, but I've seen a lot of people dying after being vaccinated.
Wow.
So how Zanele, are they giving any educational information on what's in the vaccine?
No. You're just told to be vaccinating people in this area at this certain time, and then if you want to go, you can go. If you don't want that, well, it's up to you. No information really. No counseling of some sort. No.
So it's unfortunate in America as well as Africa that so many of us are taking the vaccine, not knowing one component in the vaccine, not one. And you're still able to get COVID after getting the vaccine. So it's just unfortunate that they're not giving more information on what's in the vaccine.
So Zanele, how do you feel out there? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
No, please
I
go ahead,
think
please.
on you getting COVID after vaccination, I think you still get it because the information that we have, at least that is what is circulating on social media, that
Yes.
no matter
Mhm.
if you are vaccinated or not, you can still get the COVID, you can still, die from it, you are not immune or
Yes.
something like that. So for me, I'm
Yes.
still like trying to understand how is the vaccine helping our people? If I am vaccinated and I'm still wearing a mask, I can still get the virus. So why should I be vaccinated after all? So those are the questions that some of us are having in Africa, and we're hoping that we'll get the answers from you guys, because at least you are better off with the information and the technology from your side. But with what I'm hearing from my brother Jim, we are all the same. We all lack the information, really.
Yeah, and I can say this, we are just as informed because most people cannot answer that question in America either. What's in the vaccine? We have no clue. But we know you still can get COVID and still die from it after getting vaccination. And we know from the CDC that 99.8% of the people that got COVID survived. So I'm just wondering, is it your government that's pushing this propaganda, that or the churches or religion that's pushing it, that all people in Kenya should get vaccinated? Or is it pretty much the government forcing people to get it? Because I mean, if we don't know one thing that's in this vaccine, there's some reason why people are willingly getting it, or is it just fear, period?
I think in my country, the government has been playing the bigger role in making sure that people are vaccinated. Otherwise, most of us are still doubting. Most of us still
Right.
don't have the information. So we are like, let me just sit and wait,
Right.
until
Yeah.
maybe we have some clear, information on what is happening.
I understand.
Now, here's the question with that. How do the people out there feel about the idea of forced vaccinations?
The idea of folks, I think because for now you are still, you can still do it at a voluntary basis. I think we are still like, I'm not doing it if I don't want to. So I don't care what others think about it, at least for now, until the time when you are forced to. That is when we will know if people are against the whole idea, or they they'll just buy into it. But for now, we don't have much of information because people are still saying, no, I don't want to take it, and I'm not going to take it. And nobody will do anything to you if you say no to it. So for now, I think I cannot have really some clear answers to that question.
Well, my dear James, can I just say this? She said we're sharing information, and from what information I have, I don't have it, won't get it. Absolutely won't. And that's not putting the people down who've gotten it. We all have a reason for what we do. But my take on it from many scientists as out of the mainstream, what they're saying this vaccine is doing, it's pretty much wiping out your immune system and giving you a new immune system. So to my sister Zanelli, she asked to share any information. That's a lot of information I'm getting. That this is pretty much wiping out your God-given immune system.
Well,
and
I mean,
pretty much,
well, one of the things with that, I mean, being that we're on the air with that, I mean, it's definitely speculation on that. We can't confirm or deny it.
Well, there's scientists that's putting it, that's not in the mainstream. There are scientists that's putting these facts out, that the proteins, it's pretty much wiping out your God-given immune system, and it becomes your new immune system. This is why they're saying, and I don't want to go, like you say, with speculation also. I'm not going to go any further, but you will have boosters the rest of your life once you're on this. Speculation.
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting because there's an issue here in America. A lot of people here don't want to get vaccinated, and they're making it more difficult for people here that aren't vaccinated. So in certain states, all school teachers have to be vaccinated. People that work in prisons have to be vaccinated. People that work in hospitals in most states have to be vaccinated here. In New York City, I believe that all transit employees have to be vaccinated. In New York City, you cannot go to a restaurant after September 13th without a vaccination card. Can't go to a gym without a vaccination card. Can't go to concerts without a vaccination card. And it's interesting to see where this is going to go. I do believe that they're probably going to do forced vaccinations everywhere out here. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, I do believe that they're going to do forced vaccinations here. But again, I don't know. We genuinely don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
I hope
But
it doesn't get to that point in Africa. I hope so.
yeah. The numbers are going up here in America.
It will get to that point with the traveling and, you know.
Yeah. There are certain countries, I believe, that are requiring vaccinations to enter them. And so I guess we'll see where this goes in terms of the vaccinations and the COVID numbers. Wow, I mean, there were a lot of questions I was going to ask. We're probably going to have to do another show just to address them all. We didn't even get into the whole issue in Ethiopia, which I'm pretty sure we'll get into at a later date. But we got a lot of information, whether it be the Nigeria-Biafra conflict, the issue in Eswatini. One of the biggest questions that I would have is, how do our brothers and sisters around the world help? Because, they need help right now in Haiti. So, if we can help Haiti, please do. But how can we around the world help?
I don't know if
So I
my
guess-
brother Uche wants to go first.
Okay.
I think it helps. We can all help by spreading the word, because information spurs action. People have not acted because it just did not know. Using your power, using your political power, to make your voice heard will help. Examine the issues, see if it is something that you can back, and spread the word to your congressman or woman. Let your legislators know, because we have a foreign relations committee in the Senate. We have African affairs committee in the Senate. If they start hearing about the will of the masses of the people, then there's nothing left but for action to follow that. Also, if there are opportunities to fundraise to help these projects, please help raise funds, because it does help to break these masters with their yokes on our necks, because they're well funded. They have access to CNN, NBC, Fox News. They have access to all of that, and some of that access we don't have. They have access to lobbyists and pressure groups, and we're just new to the game, because most of the work is also done behind the scenes. So that's applying our political pressure, applying economic pressure, the same tactics we used to free Africa, South Africa of apartheid, are some of the strategies we'll need to employ here also, to restore the Biafra.
Thank you. Zanele?
I think it's more similar to what my brothers just said. The matchup that we need really is for people to know that these things are happening. Yeah, once people know that there's such and such going on in Biafra, in Eswatini, maybe it might put some pressure to our government to bring the change that we've been all looking for. And then we have a lot of people who have been hurt in my country. People are dying. Some of the family members do not have money to bury their loved ones. Some of them do not have money to pay their hospital bills. And I've been seeing a lot of, some fundraising really online for most of these guys who have lost their lives, for their families, sorry. And then for the ones who have been hurt in the line of, protest and everything like that. So I've been seeing them really looking out for help, asking for any kind of support that you can give to them. So if our brothers and sisters in the US can be able to support, maybe we can share the social media handles of the guys who are helping these guys on the ground. it could really go a long way, because we still need this protest to go on for our governments to have the pressure to give us the change that we're looking for. So if we have people getting hurt and dying, we need to make sure that at least we are helping them with their hospital bills and things like that. So I think that is the kind of help that we need. And then, just if you guys can have the voice to pressure your governments to do something about the situation in Africa, not for the government, but for the people, that could really help us, So I think that's the kind of help we need. Just to add on what my brother has already said. Thank you.
I forgot one
Right.
thing. We IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra Worldwide, we have initiated all kinds of rallies and protests worldwide. So when we'll enjoy people to appeal to people to join us. We had a protest in front of the British Embassy in New York City. We had a rally in front of the offices of Senator Menendez and Senator Cory Booker, who are the senators from here in New Jersey, who both sit on the Foreign Relations Committee in the Senate. And so another way you can help is to come out and join us anytime you have those rallies for us in an attempt to spread the word about Biafra and the need for us to restore our sovereign nation, Biafra. So come out and support anytime we have rallies and protests is another way that you could easily help the movement.
Okay, got it. Now we're going to open it up in case anyone has any questions. I know that we haven't done the show in a while. I took a season off, but if you have any questions or comments, please use the hand raise option. If you look on either the top or bottom of your screen, you should see an option that says more. There should be 3 dots. If you hit the 3 dots and hit more, it should give you an option to raise hand. If you raise your hand, I'll acknowledge you. If you have your question or comment, please ask it. That way, we can kind of get a better understanding of the show or of each other. I mean, this is an opportunity. This is unique. We're actually speaking with brothers and sisters from literally around the country in America, multiple states, as well as in different parts of Africa. So we actually have people on here that are representing Biafra, Eswatini, and Kenya right now. And I mean, there's someone else on here with a name that I'm not sure where they're from. So this is the opportunity for us to ask each other questions or have any comments. If you do, you can put it in the chat or you can raise your hands. So I'm just checking the screens. Let's see, 1, 2. No? Okay. Cool. I know that we're going to do another part 5 of this. Queen Diva had a hand up.
I don't even know where to start. It's so informative, learned so much today. It just makes me realize that we all know that media just tell us what they want us to know, but it makes us realize that we have to now do our own research and find out what's going on around the world around us. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot that's going on.
I'm sorry, my brother. I'm having challenges hearing Queen Diva.
Your audio's a little low.
It's low?
Yes, a little low.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
A little bit better.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
I'm good. Zanella, can you hear her?
It's a little bit better, but still very low.
I think I have a solution, but you have to give me 1 second to get the solution applied.
Sure.
Here. I'm trying. Hold on. I think I need some.
We're going to get you a microphone.
Shit. I have one. Don't be. Wait, Jimmy. Wait, Jimmy. You don't want none of this. You don't want none. I got one. How's that?
There we
Hey,
go.
that's great.
There you go.
I told you I had one. Don't be trying to call me out.
Okay, birthday girl.
I know, celebration continues.
Happy belated.
Thank you. I'm just sitting here listening to this, and I thought I was very informed of what was going on around the world. I thought I knew what was happening, but stuff like this is not being told to us. So sometimes it's shocking when people say we didn't know. No, I didn't know. So now, knowing that the media doesn't tell us everything, we now have to be our own reporters and news anchors and do our own research to find out what's going on around the world. Because I'm shocked about what I heard today, but I'm definitely going to follow up and do some research and see what we could do to make things better. It's definitely, when you heard about the kids being killed and everything like that, that's heart-wrenching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you guys for coming and sharing the story and being our media outlet. And let us know what's going on around the world in your part of the world. And I will definitely do my part by doing my research as well. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. E82, you had your hand up?
Yes, first I'd like to say all hell Biafra.
All hail Biafra.
Yes. Yeah, James, thank you so much for the show.
Anytime, my brother.
This is more than bridging the gap because
Yes.
this is a powerful show and it's going to resonate. I mean, it's more like an enlightenment for others that's still, how can I say, on the known or are not exposed to what the atrocity that's happening in this world, especially in Africa itself. And it's funny that as our sister Zanelli was talking about it, it's like there's literally the similarities of Biafra and your country is the same thing. I mean, the gore pictures of beheadings, Macheton and people being just raped and displaced. It's an atrocity, but these governments have done a great job of paying these media houses to just keep their mouth shut and look the other way. But with this show, it's definitely exposing, the atrocity, and now the real people are aware of what's happening right now. And I'm happy to be a part of this and listening to you guys, speak up on this. And I urge everyone, if you're listening, please do your research and see what's happening and spread the word. This is the only way we could be able to overcome this atrocity and take the yoke off our necks, and this chain that they've been putting on us for a very long time. But yes, I look forward to part 2 because this is should be an ongoing segment for a while. And
Yes.
we need to bring others as well, other brothers, because we're scattered all over the world. Those are in Jamaica, those in, the West Indies, wherever you are that's being oppressed. Yeah, we definitely need to have this talk,
Yes.
All right, that's
Definitely.
all I wanted to say. Much
Thank you, my
love, man.
brother.
All right,
Thank you, my brother.
Hail Biafra.
Biafra.
Yes, yes. Before we wrap it up, do we have any other questions, comments? Just scroll through. I'm pretty sure that once I put this video out, everyone's probably going to be emailing, contacting, going on social media. So this is going to be a part 5. I already know that it is. I definitely want to thank my guests, Zanele and Nguru, as always, my brother and sister. I always appreciate you all for coming on. I'm always learning something every time that I have you two on, every time. So I really, really want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Thank you,
quick
thank you.
thing, Zanelli.
Sure.
I mentioned in the chat room, the town that I'm from in Biafra land is Ngunu, the same spelling.
Ah,
So yes,
We're
Ngunu.
here one and the same.
Yes,
oh, wow.
yes.
I was thinking you are confusing Guru to a town, and I'm like, I
No.
forgot to ask. Wow.
Yes, Mbise, Ngunu, Mbise. So
In Biafra land.
Biafra land,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Oh,
If
wow.
this isn't fake, I don't know. Wow,
Yeah.
that's nice. Oh,
That's
great.
crazy.
I'll do my
That's crazy.
research. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking it up now. And Elianya Uche, my brother, we just met
Sir.
today. We just confirmed this today. I'm really, really appreciative for you coming on. We learned a lot from you. Hopefully this won't be the last time that we see you.
Just let me know. I'll be here. And I just want to say to all our brethren worldwide being oppressed, keep your head up. They want to silence. They want to take away your voice. You know, they want to discourage you. You know, they want to intimidate you. But you must resist. You have no other option but to resist. Be positive. Tomorrow will be better than today. And keep on marching, and we will achieve everything in due time. And with a unity and a strong bond, we will get it done. Keep your head up, everybody. All hail
Most
Biafra.
definitely.
Thank you, my brother, Mr. James.
Thank you. So for me, this feels great because this is my first show back, as I said earlier, in 4 months. For those of you that are new to the Fall to Rise podcast, you're getting a view of the types of things that we cover. With us, there's nothing that's out of bounds. We've covered everything from mental health in the Black community, which has a huge stigma, financial planning, daddy issues and how they affect men. We have my sister Marlena, who was on. She was told a story of being a cancer survivor, of surviving stage 4 cancer and coming back. We've covered molestation. We've covered suicide, depression. I'm trying to remember all of the old episodes. So if you're new to this show, please feel free to like and subscribe to the Fall to Rise podcast, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook page. Again, it's Fall to Rise podcast. I'm actually trying to pull up the page now for everyone, so that if you have not subscribed, please do. We really, really appreciate it. If there's information, if there's a show that you want us to cover, there's legitimately nothing that's out of bounds. The thing that I usually hear from people is, I can't believe you're going to cover that topic, but it needs to be talked about. So if you have not, hang on one second, trying to put it in the chat. But yeah, Fall to Rise podcast, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube pages. Please like and subscribe. We have a lot of new things that are coming out with that. There's a lot of new things that are coming out with this network for my second season. Well, I guess this would technically be my third season. We're definitely going to cover a lot of things. Sorry, I want to Fall to Rise. Fuck it. Yeah, John. Somebody was saying something.
Well, let me just say this, brother. Congratulations, of course, and thank you for providing this platform, brother. It's very powerful. It's much needed. And you know, I'm sure you're just following what the universe has laid out for you, and this is a part of it. And now you are an international force right now of energy. This is what this is, brother. This is not just common what's happening right now. We're speaking to each other from around the world, and you have provided this platform. We have no mediator, nothing in the middle. We're speaking directly to each other, brother. So your energy is truly blessed, and just want to thank you and salute you for providing this platform.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And Jim has actually been on the show, what, 3 times? You've been a guest on the show 3 times.
Yeah. I'm gonna start getting residuals from you, brother. I tell you,
it's coming, my brother. Jim's been on. I mean, Jim's done a show about being a Black Trump supporter, and I got so much flack when people say, "How could you have a Black Trump supporter on?" I said,
Jim, I was behind you on that one. I was repping.
So
I didn't hear you support me. I swear I did. I was alone out there. But it's cool.
Yeah. I got a lot. I mean, we did an episode on the LGBT in America. We did an episode on surviving death. I did an episode about swingers, with an actual swinger. There's nothing that's out of bounds on this show, and we have some very, very, very interesting things that are coming on. This season, next week, I can't do it because I have a prior engagement, but we'll be back the week after that. And I'm not planning on taking a break like this for a very, very long time. I actually am a part of 2 shows. So this isn't the only one that I'm a part of. I'm actually a co-host of another podcast called the Extreme Truth podcast, which is slightly different from this one. With the Extreme Truth podcast, definitely viewers' discretion is advised with that one. So there's a little bit more foul language on that one. I'm co-hosting that with my brothers, Legend Damian Simmons and James the Icon Grant. This Monday, we have a show that's a little controversial, but when do I ever shy away from controversy? But Monday's show is about people that hide behind religion. The show hasn't come out yet, and I'm already getting flack for it. But that must mean that I'm striking the chord somewhere. So the show, the concept of the show is about it's not about religion itself. That's the common misconception. A lot of people believe that it's about hating religion. It's not. The show is about people that misuse religion. They commit the worst atrocities and they hide behind it. So if you actually look at the flyer, there are people that are ideologues, false prophets, hypocrites, judgmental people. I'm pretty sure you probably, if you've gone to church or if you've been a part of a religion, I'm pretty sure that you've seen them. And some of them have positions of power, and those with those positions of power, unfortunately, are able to influence others to do these terrible things. And they go and they hide behind their religion or their religious book. And they use that as a way to justify what they're doing. So if you're available Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. Western Standard Time. I don't know what time that is in Kenya. That's probably 5 in the morning in Kenya, I believe. Yeah, so that's about 5 in the morning. I know that's early for my brothers and sisters in Kenya, but we're going to have a conversation about this. We're really going to talk about these people that are hiding behind religion, why they're around, why they're allowed to do what they do, why we give them the power that we do, and what we can do to stop the people that do this. So it's definitely going to be an interesting show. Again, viewers' discretion is advised. That show is not like Fall to Rise. It's a lot more foul language in that one, but it's real. People are expressing themselves. With this show, we want everyone to be respectful of each other. That's going to be very, very big. We may have differences of opinions, but respect will be paramount in that episode. And if you have not tuned into the Extreme Truth Podcast, please like and subscribe our Facebook page, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. On that show, we've covered things such as masculinity. We've covered things such as, we just did a show this past Monday about what creates a hater. I'm pretty sure we've all had them or we heard of them. We've covered that. We've covered, just so many different things. With the child support, yes. The good, the bad, and the ugly of child support. We've covered different aspects of gaslighting.
Staying in relationships too long.
Yep, staying in relationships too long, gaslighting. These are things that really need to be talked about. Even with the masculinity episode, we covered it from 4 perspectives. We covered it from the perspective of men, from a transgender male, someone who was born a woman, had surgery and hormone replacements, and is now legally classified as a man, from the perspective of women and from the perspective of a gay man. So we actually covered that on that show, which is, again, those are perspectives that you don't normally hear. So please like and subscribe to the Extreme Truth Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's XTREME Truth Podcast. And I also want to give a shout out to my people's Queen Diva. Happy birthday. Your birthday, I know, just passed.
Thank you.
2 years ago. So happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank
and I know that
Thank you.
Yes, and I know that you also have your show, your Caribbean. Please help me say.
Diva Don is the show on the Caribbean Power Jam Radio every Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
And how can people find that show?
Look, if they look Caribbean Power Jam, they have a website, and they could go on there, Caribbean Power Jam Radio.com, or even if you're friends with me, I usually show it on my page as well.
Okay, so Caribbean Power Jam Radio.com. Radio.com. Please, again, like and subscribe. This is how we're going to connect. Again, we have brothers and sisters around here, literally from around the world. And then when this show goes out, we're going to connect with even more people from around the world. Just looking at it right now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries right now represented. 5 different countries represented right now just in terms of people that are in the room. So once we start to spread the word, that's how we can become more self-sufficient. That's how we can build our own. That way we don't have to wait for others to verify us or to like us or approve of what we do. We have our own power to build ourselves up. Look at someone like a Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry made a lot of movies. Some may like them, some may not. But what he did is he built his own studio by using the support of his own people. So this platform is going to give us the opportunities to do that. one of our biggest complaints is that others don't hear our stories. They don't hear our plights. They don't understand us. This is what's going to give us the opportunity to get our stories out, to get our plight out, so that others can hear and see what's going on, so that we don't have to fit the mainstream view of what we're supposed to be. So once again, I want to thank my guests, Zanele and Guru, Ileana, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you. Everyone have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.